Hello, friends. It's Raquel from Infinite Succulents back with another lunar update. I want to apologize for missing the full moon we had in Capricorn 2 weeks ago. I broke my hand, which actually was great for the balance I was seeking at that time. But when I went to do the video, I had just broken my hand, and message I was receiving was a little bit more rest. So I opted to not make a video for the last lunation, but I'm very excited to make a video for this upcoming new moon in Cancer, which is happening on July 17th at, I want to say like 9 a.m. I can't exactly remember the time Pacific, but you can check out the times, but it's July 17th, which just so happens to be my birthday, which is very exciting. So let's get into the energies of this Cancer new moon because this is a powerful new moon and there's a big astrological shift that's happening with this new moon as well. So, starting with the Cancer new moon, you might already be feeling it. Often with new moons, we can feel the energies of the new moons for 3 days before the moon, along with 3 days after the moon. So, we typically have about a week where we're really feeling the energies of that current lunation. And with the Cancer new moon, you might be feeling a drive, an inner drive to spend more time in your home, nesting, spend more time with the people you really care about, and spend more time in inner reflection with yourself. You might be really feeling called to that because what this Cancer new moon is really bringing up within us is this urge, this desire to truly nurture that which nurtures us. And so there is a form of clarity that we can get with this new moon around what activities, places, people actually create a sense of nurturing and nourishment within us versus the activities, people, places, things that actually deplete us energetically as well. So that's something for us to kind of clarify with this new moon in Cancer in particular. So let's talk a little bit about the energy of Cancer itself. I am very much a Cancer. I am a Cancer sun, I'm a Cancer rising, and I have some other major signs in Cancer as well. I'm very familiar with Cancer energy, and Cancer is the cardinal water sign. So water represents our emotions and our intuition. Cancers tend to be highly emotional people. They like to talk about emotions. Well, sometimes we like to talk about emotions, but our emotional world is something that is very much a focus and a drive for the Cancer energy. That being said, Cancer is also known as being the crab. And sometimes the emotions can be too much and we shell up. We armor up, right? We put on that exoskeleton, that armor, and we don't let anyone see our soft, vulnerable belly. We don't want people to know how vulnerable we actually feel inside. That's very much a Cancer trait as well. Now, being a cardinal sign, that means that the Cancer energy, the water energy, the intuitive emotional energy of Cancer is also very much an initiatory energy. Cardinal signs are those that start new things, they initiate things. They're kind of like the visionaries and the trendsetters of the zodiac. So with Cancer, we have this cardinal water energy coming in. So this is actually a really, really great new moon for creating new self-love, self-affirmation practices around accepting our own emotions, around even like accepting our sense of home and sense of safety and security. And I want to talk a little bit more about this idea of safety and security because we might feel some fear, some insecurity, some scarcity, some lack, and some anxiety bubbling to the surface with this new moon. And that's because of Pluto's placement. Well, a couple of reasons. Cancer itself as a sign is very focused on safety and security. Now, also with this new moon, it just so happens that the moon is kind of like directly opposite of Pluto. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, transformation. Pluto sometimes brings up feelings of fear. So we might feel a bit more fear coming up with this Cancer new moon in particular. But what this Cancer new moon can help us clarify is the sense of safety and security we desire, whether that is being motivated by fear and lack and scarcity, or whether that is being motivated by actual grounded support, right? Like there's a difference between us wanting to feel safe and secure because we think there's something big, bad, and scary out to get us versus us wanting to feel safe and secure so that we feel like we are grounded in support, which I think that we all want to feel, and that the universe and spirit wants us to know is that we are grounded in support of the universe and support of Earth itself. We are being supported all the time, but it doesn't always feel like that. So this Cancer new moon helps us determine where are we taking action that is very much motivated by fear versus where are we taking action that is motivated for a desire for support, for stability, for groundedness. So that's something very important to kind of discern between and differentiate between as well. And this Cancer new moon also wants to remind us that the security that we really desire, the safety that we really want to feel, is a safety that can really only be felt through acceptance of ourselves, through acceptance of our own emotions, through trusting that we can ride the wave of whatever experience we're in, whatever the situation is, whatever the emotional wave we might be in, trusting that we can actually ride that wave. That's the safety that lasts. That's the safety that we really desire. So this is a really, really beautiful new moon for starting some practices that help you feel stable, help you feel secure in your own self, in your own emotions, and that are very affirming for you of your stability, of your safety, and of your space in your home, and recognizing that you will always be your greatest home. Cancers are very much about the home. We love making a space feel cozy, feel like home. Sometimes it can be hard for us to leave our homes because we love them so much. And so recognizing that we always carry our home within us when we have that centered sense of safety within. That is another beautiful message from this new moon in Cancer as well. Now, some more that's happening with this new moon in Cancer has to do with some other big astrological shifts. And the main one that we're talking about with this Cancer new moon has to do with the lunar nodes. This has to do with the north and south node of the moon. I don't want to get too much into north and south node. That could be a whole nother video. And again, I'm not an astrologer. This is just stuff I've been learning as I love to dive into astrology. And of course, I love working with the moon energy. And this lunar shift that we're going to be experiencing also on July 17th is a big astrological shift. So we've talked about eclipses here in the past, but basically what the north node and south node are is less an actual physical place and more like a mathematical equation, to be honest. But it basically has to do with the movement of the moon and where, in which signs those areas are going to be, the themes of those signs. Hold on. Let me backtrack because I'm confusing it. So let's talk about the north and south nodes. We have in our own astrological chart, north and south node, different ways people interpret that. But the moon itself as an entity also has a north and south node that has to do with how it rotates. It's a mathematical equation. It gets complicated. I'm not so good with the maths, so I'm not going to go there. But one thing we do know about the lunar nodes is that they shift every 18 months, about every year and a half. The nodes of the moon actually shift, which means that for about a year and a half, we as a collective are going to be experiencing themes related to the themes of those north and south nodes. And when we talk about the north and south node, there's different meanings behind it. I've heard different things. Here's what resonates most for me. So when we look at our own birth chart and we look at our south node and we look at our north node, it helps us understand where we've been and where we're going. So the south node implies or reflects what are some of the gifts and skills that we already have embodied, the ones that kind of come easily to us. That's the stuff we've already embodied and that we're going to continue to move with us forward. It can also imply things we have to release and let go of. And the north node represents the challenges and the lessons that we're moving into in this lifetime. And when it comes to our own astrological charts, our north node and our south node don't change. They last throughout our entire lifetime. But again, when we talk about the moon, they change every 18 months. So again, with the moon, when we're talking about the north node and south node, we're still talking about embodiment and releasing and what we're moving into. So for the last year and a half, the lunar nodes have been within the Scorpio Taurus axis, which means the south node has been in Scorpio and the north node has been in Taurus. And if you followed any of my past videos where we talked about eclipses and eclipse season, the nodes are the host for the eclipses. So when we go into eclipse season and we're dealing with this shift and transformation and change that the universe wants to bring to us in eclipse season, that's going to be around the themes of the north and south node. So we've been in Scorpio Taurus, and now we're moving on the 17th of July. Those nodes are shifting into an Aries Libra axis. So with the Scorpio and Taurus axis, with a Scorpio South node, we learned to integrate more of our shadow. And we also learned to release a little bit of our like fixation on just drama. And with the North node in Taurus, we've been moving more into our sense of groundedness, our connection to Earth, and our desire to give back to Earth as well. Now we're moving into Aries and Libra. And with the Libra South node, there's going to be a lot of themes around our sense of social justice, our sense of fairness in the world. That's what we want to embody and bring with us. But what we want to release as a collective is people pleasing and our tendency to kind of put our own needs aside and focus more on the needs of the collective in general. And doing so in a way where we deny our own needs and our own pleasure. So that's what we're releasing with the Libra South node. And with the Aries North node, what we want to move into is more aligned action, more self-empowerment, more self-confidence, more individualization, each of us knowing who we are, what gifts we are here to bring, and sharing that out with the world. It's a very action-oriented sign. And when we look at Aries and Libra, we're also talking a bit about the archetypal masculine and archetypal feminine qualities as well. Libra represents the archetypal female. And again, I'm not talking about like human sides of gender. I'm talking about the energies of masculine and feminine. So Libra really represents that kind of divine feminine. It also represents our relationships with our mother, our own sense of the feminine within ourselves. And Aries is more representative of the archetypal masculine energy. It can have a lot to do with our relationships with our fathers, as well as balancing that masculine and feminine within us. So with this nodal shift that we have happening, we're going to see as the collective that we're going to move away from people pleasing and more into each and every one of us stepping into our power and acting within our power as well. Now, I was also reading because of this kind of archetypal masculine, feminine, and balancing kind of energy that within the next 18 months, with the lunar nodes being within the Libra and Aries axis, we might actually see a lot more divine partnerships arising in the next 18 months. And by partnerships, I don't mean strictly romantically. Yes, for sure, romantic relationships, but also platonic relationships, professional relationships. This is a really good time to really nurture and cultivate our networks and our current relationships, as well as creating space to allow more social relationships to grow as well. So that's a great thing to look forward to in the next 18 months also. Now, those of us who have more cardinal signs, and those cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, we're going to feel these lunar nodes shifting a little bit more because the lunar nodes are shifting in cardinal signs. So those of us who have a lot of cardinal energy, especially in our big three signs, which is our sun, our rising, and our moon, we're really going to start feeling this shift, and we might experience great transformation in the next 18 months, which is both exciting and a little bit nerve-inducing, depending on where you're at. I like to call that sensation nerve-excited because it's a combination of nervous and excited. Now, for me personally, I'm a Cancer sun, Cancer rising. My birthday is on July 17th, which is the new moon in Cancer and the day that the lunar nodes shift. I'm definitely feeling excited for the next year and a half. I know sometimes the universe will shift things in ways that aren't the most comfortable, but I'm also very here for this transformation, very present for this. And I'm excited for what's to come. And in my own life, in my own experience, I've learned to trust that excited feeling, that feeling of nervous excitement, because that feeling is typically the predecessor for great change, great transformation, and has never led me wrong in the past. So I hope my feelings of excitement for this new moon in Cancer and for the shift that we are going to be experiencing happening around this new moon, I hope that it brings for all of us a beautiful ability to expand in ways that challenge us, but also help to nurture us simultaneously. And I believe both those things are possible. So I hope you have a very, very happy new moon in Cancer. This is a beautiful new moon for gathering together to do like a moon circle or just get together with friends and really nurture the relationships that nurture you. It's a beautiful new moon for any kind of self-care practices that really bring you a sense of nourishment within. Wonderful new moon for journaling. And if you're looking for some journal prompts for this new moon, please check out my Moonblog. I will attach the link below. But in the Moonblog, I go into the details of all this. There's a little bit more about the node shift in there as well. And then we have journal prompts for this new moon too. So happy new moon in Cancer, my friends. I hope that it is inspiring for you. I hope that it is also illuminating. I hope that it is initiatory for you. And I hope that you feel both excited and slightly, just very slightly nervous for the transformation we know is coming. All right, friends, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.